Talk to you today about your work for the week. So I'm going to assume that you have some stuff cut out. All right. So we're just going to go with that one right now. I want to talk a little bit about focal point balance and how you're going to arrange things. So first off, let me hide this and hide that and hide that and leave the model up here. All right. So, oops, let me also, there we go. And I have to do some erasing here real quick. Sorry, guys. All right. Anyway, so I've got my model here. The one thing I want to talk about is anytime you have a figure and some part of it is cut off, you have to make sense of that figure being cut off. You cannot just leave him sitting out here in the open like this. So you can hide him like so by covering up his legs, by taking his legs off the screen. If for some reason he's turned, the same deal, you can take his legs off the screen. So if you have a figure that happens to be missing a body part, you want to take the body part and make sure it is hidden. Now, if you don't want to take the body part off the screen, you can hide it with other objects. So we will sit here and turn him that way, and we will take the Lamborghini and bring it back. All right. And now you can see that he is hidden behind the Lamborghini, which also makes sense because now he's standing behind the Lamborghini. But it doesn't make a lot of sense because the Lamborghini is small and he's so big. So again, you want to think about size. All right. If he's going to be staying behind the Lamborghini, the Lamborghini is either going to be really big, or obviously the gentleman needs to be a little bit smaller as he's standing back there. And that looks a little more realistic. So think about parts being cut off and think about size and scale when you are putting things together so that they make a little bit of sense when they are together. Also, we are going to talk a little bit about focal point. Now remember, you said you were going to create a contrast focal point, which is something bigger. So right now the car is the focal point because it is the biggest and brightest thing on there. If I would like to make the guy the focal point, then I would definitely need to make the car a lot smaller. All right, so I could definitely make the car a lot smaller. I can make the gentleman a little bit bigger. All right, and maybe I want to do other things, like obviously if I put his head in the middle of all of these little lines, they are all now pointing to him. If I take the car, all right, and I point the car in his general direction, okay, now the car is pointing at him. I can create a copy of the car. Oops. I can create a copy of the car, all right, and I can go ahead and rotate that thing. And now I can have two cars pointing at him. All right, so now everything is pointing at him. I can have a little Lamborghini logo. Let me grab my little Lamborghini logo. And the same kind of deal, I can have a Lamborghini logo pointed at him. And I can create another Lamborghini logo. And I can have it pointing at him. All right, so now everything is pointing at him, and that is called leading the eye. So if you have something that's bigger, bolder, brighter, that's contrast. If you have everything pointing, that's leading the eye. And then the third one is psychological. So I can set him on fire or do something crazy, and that's what the special effects you guys are going to do this week. So what I would like you to focus on this week is making sure you have the correct focal point. So there he is, and everything's pointing at him. He's leading the eye. I could also take him, oops. I can also take him and I can also take him and make him the biggest thing. All right. So now he's a contrast leading the eye focal point. And if I put him on fire, there you go. So this week, ladies and gents, please take the time to make sure you have the correct focal point. You're cutting things out. And if you have a person or something that is oddly cut off because of how you cut it out, make sure that oddly cut off part is hidden. Last thing I do want to talk about, sorry I'm throwing this at the last minute, is also distorting things. Please do not make your things too fat or too skinny. Please keep them to their original shape. You would also lose points for that. All right, guys, so we'll be working on this week.